All right, I'm here with Alex at Loper Machine. We're going to do a quick shop tour today. Alex, I guess give a quick intro to Loper Machine, what you guys do here.
We are a aerospace job shop, make anything for spaceships and airplanes.
I see the Xometry banners, you guys got your start doing that type of stuff, right?
First year and a half was really nothing except Xometry. Went on there, tried to find the most challenging jobs that paid the most money, that looked the coolest, and made those. The nice thing about Xometry is if you don't have any certifications such as AS 9100, ISO 9001, ITAR, all these different certifications that you can get, you can start off just totally ground level. So this is quality control. It's not huge, but I think it's pretty good for a small job shop. We're actually really looking at expanding this. This is our current CMM. It's a Hexagon Tego SF, which stands for shop floor. Someday this will probably be moved out onto the shop floor next to a production job and be used to inspect hopefully some kind of production job, right? Down there we have an optical comparator. We just brought that in this year, so we made out for the last 6 years without any kind of optical comparator, but it's been great to bring that in. We also brought in this height gauge here, Mitutoyo. Some shops, this is where they go first. They get a granite plate and they get a really nice, height gauge setup that can do hole positions and things like that. We didn't get either one of these pieces of equipment first. We went straight to a CMM, really because we secured a job that justified and needed the CMM. So we were really fortunate in the fact that we got a job that required the CMM and that justified buying the CMM. This one doesn't have the articulating wrist, so basically, you gotta swap probes and build probes to be able to inspect features that might be on the side of a part. What's really nice about this CMM is you can have, you have all this open space, you don't have pillars, you can set things up and feed things through, and so it's a very versatile machine.
The machine paid for itself on that first job, or?
It did. It
there
did.
You go.
Yep. Yeah. I wouldn't say just start a machine shop, get a CNC, and immediately buy a CMM if you don't have to. That's not really the best. Well, maybe it is for you. Everybody's got a different journey, right? They're expensive, but they're also necessary. Kind of like an ERP system. It's like, you don't really know how good it is until you have it, and then you get it and you're like, I can't imagine life without it. Obviously you have to program the part, that takes time, but it's like if you have, let's say, 30 parts to make, after you program it, it just runs lights out. You load the part on, you can load multiple parts on and just inspect parts super quick, where calipers and micrometers, that would take a long time. Gauge pins, height gauges, all those things.
I know this is one of the things you said you were more excited about doing. Do you want to just stepping in here and giving us a quick look around?
Having a tool crib was always kind of like a dream. Now, I know this isn't really in some people's eyes, this is not really a tool crib. This is just a room with a bunch of tools in it. What's nice about it is it's temperature controlled in here. It's not like dusty. It's not collecting oil and all the things that shop air carries. We've never had a conservative approach on buying tooling. Kevin and I, we always try to buy the best. You could have the best program, the best CNC, but if your tooling is terrible and you have messed up tapers, then you're gonna have an issue making good parts. You could also have the best tooling, the best machine, and a bad program, and you're not gonna make good parts, right? But those three are so important. So for us, buying the nice tooling and taking care of it has always been really important to us.
Cool. So after hours here, nice and quiet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess just kind of bring us into a little bit of the philosophy of how you kind of worked up from, your first machine, I think it's this VF-4 that we'll see here in a second,
yep,
up to, what do you have now, 20 or so machines?
Yeah. So we started off with the Haas VF-4, older machine, but for us, it was kind of everything that you need to start a shop. Obviously, it doesn't have turning, so that was the thing in the beginning. It's like, do you get a lathe or do you get a mill, and what kind of work do you go for? We went with the mill because you can make round parts in a mill, and you can't make square parts in a lathe. This machine also is set up for full 4th axis, So it came with a 4th axis. It's not in there right at the moment. It's like a Swiss Army knife. You can put the 4th axis in there. You can take it out. You can have a huge table with multiple setups. You can put the doors open and feed long extrusions through. So for us, this was like the perfect machine. And a VF-4 is a big enough size. It's a 50 by 20 travel with I think 21 in Z so plenty of travel. It's not the fastest, it's not the most accurate. If you're not living in a high production world, that's totally fine. And if you're not doing solely aerospace parts, you're fine. And we weren't at that time. But to this day, it's still a great machine. We got some work set up in there right now. You can see on the left-hand side, we have a vacuum fixture set up. And on the right side, we have an open vise for really anything that might need to flow through the machine. Yeah, it's just been a workhorse, and the price, right? So when you're starting off a machine shop, unless you want to go super in debt and, you know, finance a $150,000 VF-4, you can buy a $20,000 VF-4 that's old. As long as you make sure it's in good shape, then you're probably okay. And then I was really fortunate that Kevin is as mechanically as inclined as he is, my business partner. And so I had crazy faith in him that if something broke, he'd be able to fix it. And we really haven't had anything break on it. We did replace the tool umbrella because some of the little flap stations were broken that protect the chips from going up and getting on the tapers of the tools. So we replaced that. I think that was like, I don't know, $700 or something. Not a big fix, not a big spend. And other than that, it's been lights out.
Yeah. Easy to get replacement parts for, pretty cheap, still runs all your modern cam. You guys are programming in Mastercam.
We use Mastercam for programming everything. Yep.
And then I guess from there, you got a couple Haas OEs, staying on the same control. And then, you know, since then, kind of what are you guys into these days? I know you guys do a lot of robo drills.
Yeah, after the Haas machines, so we acquired 2 more Haas OEs after this one. One of them started kind of flaking out on us, and we were having issues with, you know, continuously putting money into repairs. We phased that out. And right at that time, one of our big customers needed us to do more work for them. And so they helped us with a machine that they had in their shop that was getting outdated. And that's this horizontal ES450. And so for us to get, you know, a machine of this level was just, that took us to another level. We were able to run more lights out. Really, the accuracy was way higher on this machine. Repeatability, it has 60 tools that are all tucked away, so you don't have to worry about those chips getting on the tapers. We were able to get more accurate parts faster, and then also you have that built-in 4th axis. You know, that opens up another capability.
Cool. Yeah, and then I guess in here you got vices in here. You have a bunch of custom fixtures in there. You kind of just keep. I know you said like every once in a while you'll run kind of lights out production with it. But you got, what, 5 pallet stations or so, and then just keep a different setup on each side of a tombstone?
Yeah, if, you know, this machine, if we do get an order in that's, let's say, 400 parts, then we'll consider doing pallet swapping and that same job running on multiple pallets. That's really rare for us. We're a shop that does lower quantities, like 20 to 30 parts, sometimes just 1 and 2 parts, you know, and we're done. So for us to have, you know, a pallet set up with vices, a pallet set up with Raptor work holding, dovetail setups, an open setup, and maybe another pallet that's just a tombstone that's set up with more of just a faceplate, this machine has just been a Swiss Army knife for us. This is the first brand new machine we ever bought. I think we got it in 2020.
Also bought for a job, right?
Yep, so actually the same job that we bought the CMM for, we bought this machine for. We were already making the parts for a while on a machine on the other side, a Matsuura RA3G, and that machine was making the parts fine, but that particular part has so many small features, and you really just don't need to hog it out, you just need to go really fast. The material's like 303 stainless steel, so you can really eat through that stuff like butter. So this machine, lighter duty, but super, super fast, very accurate. The 650 is a pallet changer. The selling point to us on this machine was that the pallet doesn't actually pick up and rotate and come back down. So this just switches in and out, so you don't have to worry about chips getting up underneath of the table and possibly onto the pads where the table locates. So repeatability is deadly.
Right, and then this has the belt style tool changer too, right? So you said tool to tool time is what, like under a second or something?
It's around a second. It's a competitor to the robo drills for sure. I'm sure these companies go at it on whose is better, and they probably are hitting the same market. But we have a robo drill with a pallet changer, and the robo drill pallet changer was why we didn't go that direction. That has the opportunity to get the chips under it. I am a robo drill fanboy, so
you got a couple of them, right?
Yeah, so I would go robo drills, but for this part and this particular application, the brother had the upper hand on it. And I guess if we were running one job through the whole shop, maybe it would make sense to just have that streamline of like all FANUC controllers and everything is the same. Again, we're a job shop that like tomorrow we might see something we ain't never done before, and it's nice to be able to have a couple different tools to be able to get the job done.
I guess let's go take a look at, was this your first robo drill over here?
Yeah, this is our first robo drill that we got. Interesting with this robo drill was the owner of the company reached out to us for a job that they were looking to run crazy production on. And so he asked me to take a look at this job, and on Monday, come talk to him. He said, come up with a process, how are you gonna make it? I went down and talked to him. I told him exactly how I'd make it, and I said that I would make it on a robo drill. We didn't have a robo drill, and he said he loved everything about the process, and they're actually making a part that's very current, or very close to the part that we were going to be making on a robo drill. So he said, find a robo drill. And I'm like, I can find one, but I'm definitely not going to be able to buy it. I don't have that much money. He said, find the robo drill. We'll figure it out. He got us the robo drill. We paid him back 100% in part, and he had crazy faith in us to do that. You know, that was ultimately how we got ourselves into our first robo drill, was our customer taking care of us to take care of them.
All right, and this machine here, this is a more or less the same one as the blue one we saw over there, right?
Yeah, this is the same ES450 as on the other side of the wall. It's way more compact because it doesn't have 5 pallet stations like that one does. And it's also nice because the tool changer on that machine sticks like 6 feet off the wall, and this one runs parallel with the back of the machine. So footprint, it's nice and small. We actually just brought this machine in. There was another company that not too far down the road getting rid of it. They reached out to us and was just like, hey, here's a machine for a good price. And yeah, we got the machine, and one of our machinists is like very familiar with this machine. So it was like, it came in and he gravitated right to it, and he's been on it just knocking parts out.
All right, and then I guess back here, these 3 robo drills, I guess similar models to the other ones, but these are much newer, right?
Yeah, this is production land over here. So we run one job. That same job is running through the Makino A66 at the end on op 1s, and then all 3 of these machines are running nothing but op 2s. And actually one of the robo drills on the other side of the wall is running op 2s. So we're making a couple thousand of these particular parts. Well, in total, we're making probably like 10,000 parts, but we've been making them over the course of the last 3 years. So these machines are dedicated to nothing but that. They got vacuum fixtures set up on them, and yeah, running basically lights out machining.
Yeah, and I guess you had the right job in-house to pay them off and hit those delivery times.
Really, we would probably be still hitting the delivery times with just the 2 machines, but the quicker you can get through a job and deliver all your parts, the quicker you can bill for it and move on to another job, right? Yeah, so this is the A66 Makino. Again, this machine was kind of wild. Last time I went to IMTS in 2022, I was getting on the plane, literally about to get on the plane to go to IMTS, and I got a call from our customer saying, hey, we got a horizontal here, do you want it? And I was like, okay. And by the time I got back 2 days later, this machine was sitting here. So that's how fast they had to get rid of it. If I don't know, but if I had to guess, this machine brand new would be probably over $500,000. We got it for a very good deal. It runs parts, lights out parts, right? So This machine will be running after everybody goes home tonight.
And you guys got a lot of, I mean, that looks like a tombstone y'all bought, but you guys made a bunch of custom stuff for it too, right?
Yes, because this is our biggest machine, our biggest horizontal in the whole shop, we like to be able to set up other jobs if we need to. So we leave that tombstone dedicated to anything else, right? And then it runs all day and all night. It runs on that one pallet, one job, which is the job that supports and feeds all the robo drills. So in our mind, as long as it can stay ahead of all the robo drills, it's fine. If I do have to break into the other tombstone, that's why I don't set both tombstones up to run one job, because that's already
pile up too much.
Yeah, it's already beating them, right? And if I get a job in tomorrow that I need this machine, I can probably hold off on that for a day or two while I knock out something that wouldn't fit in the travel limits of any of the other horizontals.
Yeah, I guess it keeps you flexible too, right?
Exactly.
Keeps you have good relationships with people that you can get quick parts turned around to, but also just run consistent production, keep your workforce kind of occupied there. So.
Yeah, and it's so important because like in this industry, it's like how fast can you get the part done? And sometimes the customer doesn't even care how much it costs. They're just like, I need this thing, like you're a 7-Eleven and I need to be able to just go get whatever I need at a convenience store and have it tomorrow or right now, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes we knock out crazy parts in unbelievable times.
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends that are engineers at, you know, different medical robotics companies, stuff like that. Like price is not the issue, but setting them back a week, that'll kill you.
It's not even an option, right?
Yeah, if you can be that shop that delivers that, you'll get work from them all day long at prices that, you know, they probably shouldn't be paying, but
and if you're a shop that can't promise a due date that's a quick turnaround, you might lose huge opportunities, because sometimes those jobs, you get something like that done real quick, and obviously that establishes you better with the customer, but it also might land you the production for a year of a blanket order. Keeping that versatility is huge for us.
Yeah, and I guess with the systems you guys have built up, obviously out here in the shop and in the office, and I guess it's something you're, you know, kind of using StartProto for too, is keeping those production shop jobs to where you don't have to actively manage them all day, right? Because I know you were saying earlier, if you had to constantly manage everything else, you wouldn't be able to just drop for a couple hours, get that cam run out, and get it on the machines, right?
At this point, there's no way I can manage everything that's going on, you know, through a microscope to know how well we're doing on something without a system like StartProto. I'll say that the hardest thing to starting a machine shop, and probably any business, you probably experience this too, is letting go of responsibilities, because you don't want your quality to be jeopardized. You don't want lead times to, you know, be jeopardized. You have built something that it's like a child. It's like you care about it, you take care of it, and it takes care of you too, you know. And if you let any side of it go, like, it could be devastating. Did he give you some homework to do? All right. Oh, I'll do that right now. So we're just gonna put 3,000 right there. So you're good.
Yeah, so I guess in addition to running the business, right, you run kind of a Titans of CNC small group out of here too, right?
Yeah.
I guess talk through a bit of the philosophy behind that, right? Kind of getting young people interested in machining and kind of building up the local workforce.
So many kids, and I'm saying kids in particular because when you're young, you come out of school and it's like you might, and even while you're in school, you have no idea what you're gonna wanna do in the future, you know? And then you graduate and you might end up doing something that you're passionate and you like, or you might not. The idea of our class is to find out, is this something that you would wanna do or not? There might be some people that come through the class, not just kids either. We've had older people. I told you earlier about a guy we had come in here that was sweeping chimneys. You know, now he's working at a fantastic job shop down the street. He loves what he does. But you also might say, this isn't really for me and I want to do something else. And that's totally fine. Hopefully we can be a place that someone can come and gain that knowledge.
Yeah, while we're running that course, couple hours, multiple times a week, you're giving most of the trainings.
Yeah, I have some support from a previous student. She comes in and she helps me run the class. I don't know where Auburn went. Auburn was actually a graduate of the class, and now she's an employee and she's working here, right? It's 2 nights a week. It's 3 hours per class. We do it for 10 weeks. if you finish, then you are sent with a certificate of completion and also a toolkit with, a nice Metatoyo set of calipers and micrometers, and it's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. We typically run 4 people just because we have 2 educational seats of Mastercam and we have 2 industrial seats of Mastercam. If we had another seat or 2, I'd probably do more. It's nice to have smaller groups so you can really, focus on each individual, because some people come in here and they already know how to read calipers and mics. Some people have never touched calipers and mics and have no idea. Some people have even broken in and understand some CAD CAM. So it's just the different ability levels that you get. You have to be able to cater to each individual and where they're at.
And I guess it gives you a nice pipeline of workforce too, right? I mean, it's every shop we talk to, super hard to find people, right? Everyone wants that guy with a couple of years experience who knows everything, but pretty impossible to find these days. So I guess you guys have figured out how to just grow that talent in-house.
Yeah, like we have 3 people here working right now that all went through the class. And yeah, we've been doing it now for 4 years. And so, some of these people that have done it, I mean, they've gone on and they're like fantastic machinists working at, big companies, making great money, and super proud of them.
All right, well, Alex, thank you so much for the tour.
Thank you.
Super great seeing your shop. It's impressive to see how quickly you built it from just 1 machine up to, now 13, 14 employees. And, seems like you got great plans for growth. I know there's a new building in your future at some point, and kind of just keeping that business growing and doing more parts, teaching more people. It's a great story.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah. Any parting words to the audience, or?
I do have goals, right? But really just kind of try to live in the moment as much as you can. It's not like I don't like wake up with something written on my mirror like some people talk about and look at my goals and objectives every single day, worried about making, $1 million. I like to just kind of live in the moment. I really do love machining. I love making parts. For me, it's not even like work, I just have so much fun doing it, and I'm very fortunate that I found that, Like back to the internship, it's like, hopefully some people find that, because some people don't. But yeah, just try to embrace it. Some days I come in here and it's like I start getting so stressed out because jobs aren't going well. I might, some things might just be hitting the fan, right? But I leave and look back at the shop and I'm just like, it's pretty wild how it's gotten to where it's at. You have to just sometimes live in that moment and just be proud of, where you're at.